Hey everyone, welcome to week one. So this is week one, and Spirit has told me that the symbol for this first week of 2015 is actually going to be the Springboard. So when Spirit gave me this symbol, they sort of gave me the vibration or the feeling that with the springboard you jump onto it, and then so as you jump onto it there's all that sense of excitement and there's that anticipation of the whole process of how you're going to be flung into the air. But then when you're in the air, oftentimes you're sort of in that state between floating, flying and falling, and then there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with that. How am I going to land? What is this going to feel like? I've got no control over any of this. And so in essence, the symbol of the springboard was exactly that. That throughout the course of last week, coming into the start of this week, and then through to the end of this week, we were given all of these various different elements that were going to sort of catapult us into somewhere different, or into a different state, or to a different position than we were previously. But it also increased the speed and the distance with which we were going to get there. So it kind of changed the game in a lot of ways, because we needed to be propelled further forward as we got into the new year, because oftentimes we don't necessarily take every single step that we would have planned to. So at the very end there can be that sort of catapult like experience to really push us that little bit further, so we get exactly where we need to be just at the appropriate time. So the very first card that we had for the week was a dream partner is on the way. And so, yes, this card often does mean romantically, but the Spirit was meaning this card very much so in terms of a type of partnership for the entire year. So we're talking people that relate to business opportunities, we're talking, yes, romance, anyone that would share space and time with you. This was saying that you were going to rendezvous with the person that was going to be an appropriate match for you throughout the period of next year. So this card really set up the energy for this first week and moving into the first year. So really it's all about really refining what we want to be around and who we want to be around, because it's super important. Next card, Spirit is talking to you through illness. So this card comes up as we sort of took a shift into the center of the week, where it turned from very proactive, active yang energy into a more subtle, receptive and an observant type of mode. Because this card, Spirit is talking to you through illness, it's really saying that we were going to take a moment just to reflect on our body, and we were going to feel into the really subtle messages that we were receiving to work out what our body was telling us, how we were walking on our path, and what we needed to shift and alter in terms of our perception, and also perhaps what we were putting our bodies through as well. Because then the next card that followed that was find answers in meditation. So similarly, just as the last card was all about reflection, the next card is similarly all about reflection. It's saying that you were going to find the answers to the questions that you had only through the process of sitting and observing and just being still enough to really make yourself a part of the overall answer, or to put yourself in a realm where you could even find the answers. Because if we're too active, too yang, too go, 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 oftentimes we run straight past the thing that we're looking for. And so this card in the very center of the week was saying that it became very much so sit still and observe, because this is going to be exactly where the shift occurs. And this card fell on New Year's Eve. So it really was about, instead of, I mean, obviously everyone went out and they probably had some drinks and they had a lot of social time, but it was important to find just a little bit of time to just sit and be able to observe, feel into what's going on for you, and then to be able to really get that information. Next card. Find father figure. So the very first card of the year was father figure. So father figure, as we've talked about before in terms of an archetype, talks about, do you have enough money? Are those bullies looking after you? So this card was really saying that the father energy, even though everyone talks about the fact that we're moving into a feminine time and the feminine archetype or the feminine energy is going to rule the next age, which is very true, but the only way for that really to work work is that if there becomes a really healthy, healed, and workable version of the male. And so that's why this card's very important to understand that it's sat in the very first card for this year, because it means that there's going to be a tremendous focus on the masculine, realigning what the masculine means and what it doesn't mean. Because for a lot of people, the masculine means war, and it means control, and it means aggression, and it means guns, and it means violence. And so within the consciousness, this year is really about allowing people to evolve their perception of what that masculine archetype means, so that you can create a workable version that's actually healthy, because the masculine means so much more than just those things. Next card, everything is going to change. So the first card of the year was the father figure, and the next card was everything is going to change. So these two rooted together, it was promising you that when within your own life you sort of reached a point where you'd be able to transform your relationship with the masculine archetype, that this year everything was going to change for you. This year is full of so much change, and it's very immediate change, and it's sudden change. And when that's sort of part of your reality, oftentimes it scares the absolute crap out of you. So with that change, we've also got to really develop our capacity to flow with the change and just accept that it's going to be that way and that it's going to work out for us. Next card, Pisces. So this card then sat after what we've just been talking about, obviously, and Pisces are fantastic dreamers. Oftentimes they've got their head in the clouds and they come up with these amazing visionary-like images of how things can be, but oftentimes they lack the practical approach to draw that into actually following through with things. So what this really meant is that it's fine for us to have all these fantastic ideas about what we want our life to be like in the next year, but now it's about really making things practical and making a list, essentially, and then applying an appropriate plan or project to see those things come into fruition, because we need to take the amazing ideas and we then need to translate them into something that's going to work. And so the last card of the first week is you are asked to help the world. So the spirit was really topping this whole week's energy off of the springboard of really then understanding, okay, yes, we will have drives to help people, but do we really see ourselves clearly? We need to be able to understand where people are coming from without judgment, but from an observant point of view. And so a lot of people sit from their relative sort of stance on things and they think, I am so giving and I am so generous, and those people, they are not whatsoever. Yet by the flip, those other people might think the exact same thing of those people. And so it's really important to not overextend yourself, but to really be able to see yourself clearly and to see your motives and to see your intention, and then to create a space where open dialogue is really possible. Because as part of this next year being ruled by the healthy version of the masculine, it comes the importance of being able to create healthy, balanced, but also really honest yet soft feedback. Because oftentimes with the masculine, if it's taken to an extreme, it will be abrupt and it will be harsh. So the need for dialogue and open and honest dialogue is paramount, but it needs to be sort of tenderized a little bit. It needs to be softer and it needs to be subtle so that people don't react and need to violently respond to these truths that perhaps they don't want to deal with. So they were the cards that we had for this week. So if we look back at the first and the last, a dream partner is on the way. So Spirit really saying that we're going to be drawn to what we're looking for this year. And then the last card, you are asked to help the world. It weighs those two against each other. So do you believe that you deserve what you want to have? Do you believe that it needs to come at the sacrifice of what's holy or what you should be doing for the world? Those two beliefs oftentimes will destroy each other. And so it's important for us to be able to understand that we deserve to be happy and we deserve to create whatever we want, yet we also can be fulfilling whatever our primary purpose is in terms of the spirit and our destiny. And remember, keep the intention or keep the directive for you personally that your reason for being here is just to become more expansive, awakened, and open, and to become more loving through that process. Anything else is secondary. That will make your life so much simpler, and you'll be able to flow through things with much more grace and ease. So no matter what changes you're encountering right now, because probably there'll be a lot of plans being changed and aligned, flow with them. Don't feel as though you need to react or respond in any kind of defensive way. Just let things change and trust that you're going to be taken where you need to go. So this was the very first week. I thought I'd be able to get all of this new content that I'd been hinting at up by this point, but unfortunately plans change and things get a little bit delayed. So I hope that you have had an amazing first week to the year, and I'm going to start signing off things with kind of a little prayer or mantra that you should maybe try adopting with everyone you meet. People typically say namaste. Instead of that, I wish for you that the magic always finds you. And so the magic not meaning like some, like, magic is obviously ethereal, but not meaning some kind of fairy tale like thing, and which is escapism. We're talking about may the magic always find you, that in whatever circumstance or situation that you're in, may you always observe that the magic of the spirit, or the magic of life, or the magic of whatever's destined and promised to you, may it always find you wherever you are. So I will see you next week with another video, and so if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends, and leave a comment in the field below. Let me know how your first week of the year was, and if you aren't already, make sure you're following me on Facebook, where you can get all of these daily cards that we've just been talking about. Following me on Instagram, where you can get the God of the Day, and then on Twitter you'll also receive the mantra of the day. So as I was saying, may the magic always find you.